Memo ache na memo akwa ba mfa mra na watwe dwumadie so ewo Adom TV if you answer twa ne ho ewo asempa 94.7 FM nyame ya Adom na watwe akwa ba beto ye de o se yesi nkonya na yedwendwe oman Ghana ho senia ya oman Ghana betumi afa ne ntempa efra oman Ghana be kọ nanim na abo ye nyina because so oman Ghana yeyi a eyi ema ye nyina ebonso a ebogu ye nyina yetire so enti memena dasa no anapai na yasi nkonya na ya toto adwene eba senia Ghana betumi akona nim nane asemba ko eba bedi nkomo eye aban ne decision say on renew Zoomlion omo contract company ni yenim say ensembe to odwa no omo so de omo de aba betodwa na watwe bi etwa mu ne ye ne yenua manasetena ha edi Zoomlion nkomo na ene yene Zoomlion betna na yeti omo so de na yakọ mpu ne mpu nyamlo beto ye betoto omo no na yeti ese ne omo so de no esi eko ye wia na wotwe ne hu se unprecedented NCda Chief Justice get to Torkornoo ene aban ato eye committee bi se omo ntoto na no about some petitions bi ababeto president anim audience bi beto dwa etrese I say ngofo aka kire nka onfa na dwuma nto na onsifam osese oyesa na I say ogisa ne ekoso a ono kasa eye unlawful etrese ne ekoso yina no emfa mra kwan mu no oja tunti onyesa obetna na waku akwakosi awieye odinse bebre na na etudwa ne yebekum yebedom suko na yeyine mako na also wetumi ate ase na also nim say danu na the new patriotic party omote ne yefeno patriotic institute na omo pa hotam no ex-president John Ajekum Kufuor the gentle giant edin sembi ekotudwa ensem no doso na o kire se emani party for no enhwe religion nipa bigina ana tribe bia nipa no fiba na ma hwe se mu yi ono as a presidential candidate ana se mu to atia no as a presidential candidate eni sanse mo de tudwa nyina na yebetena ya domo suko kama enti woni entena ene me twa me ho na mabatewo menya ba ye pe me ne ma me ema adwoa apia osedua ono ye corporate affairs and communications director for Zoomlion Ghana Limited meba me ne be she dwumedi ase na yetumi adi hu nkomo ya hwe say Zoomlion for contractor abansi orini you know omo nsensem on de atodwa no emuti sen your friend Samuel Kojo Brace I'm just a voice I'm representing a team led by AC Ohene your general manager of Abu Ebtaye Chipapa Walanyo ewo ho kwasinsia omoso eboa atutu dwuma kama on behalf of my directors, my cameramen, my sound, my lighting, my dance so am yakonya say yemra ofie yemra offices yemra okamu baby a wo hwe ne ne otie fie bia no yesi yedase dwumadi etwa no wo Facebook ko nafa won sembisa na wo comment fa koto wo nemum se ne de bia me yede no se wasem no ehwo nte a ntumi nkan ntumi ehwo nte ehwo tinko ade a meka na obi aso ate ne ahso opa kire etwa ehwo te oni aba ye be betwa so memo akwa babio enfambra na watwe dwumadie so na afi ye nto aso na ye ninkomo about Zoomlion ene senior nsem no esi eko ba no nso ene me no kese na misi kan dada no me o ma me ema adwo apia o se adua ono corporate affairs and communications director for Zoomlion Ghana Limited ma me bia boko
Adom sami
o so ayefe o ana me kasa dada na wo ho ayefe dada
Adom for another romantic asise ni o me yi
okay na Zoomlion ne ekoko so mo response ne say
enkomo etwagu abefontin tazi eno ho nkomo na wowe eni say yen de aban ahihye na adwuma so opese enioma menu na esie brante ne mabaawa enya adwuma ye na afi so monten so te na Zoomlion ye fiti ase na aban hihye nto de kan say imponko anase afrum wabo adaka wɔ n'achi na ebesese nwura na won be prapra boa no nti sabre na yewurase a Japan so wakofa tricycles manual tricycles ne de 9 na ehiri ni bi aba o hwe say ebetimi asom wɔ Ghana ha na nti no oye pilot no wɔ Boga. Okay. Nti oni mpanifo edi nkomo say amate se mu pese mu di dwuma we na mo de efrum donkey carts na ebesesa na mehwa eno no yebese nyamura na se fi wa efrum nachi nti mo hwa tricycle nhwe na oye omamba panti adwen bi ba de timu a wode to mpanifo anim yeso mo ne yedane man so yebetimi de we aye na ayeye pa nti ye na ekrache hwe na ye eno ne ya ye ba mu nti ya be mu wan ahyehyɛ akyerɛ sika a yɛde betua adwumayɛfoɔ ne ka nyinaa nti aban hyase sɛ no otua onka fa bank ni bi ɛna me sɛ du baabi no na nso aban sika de ano boa ansa na otumi de ayɛ adwuma nti sa no mo aya na kyɛ sɛ ɛbɛkyɛ nti wɔpɛ PPP ɛyɛ public private partnership sa aban ne ankrankro nnwuma bedi nsawosoɔ no mo de adi dwuma aboa Ghana enti eno na yenso yeko mu bi se ne sadia ye betua na aban se muntua na abosomi ensa achi na me nso me de amam se ne nke ye kama afi se ye tua abosomi ensa de na nko aboaboa ne ho anu awi ti eno mu na ye wa 2019 mfie mpino ni dum kron obi emu se obi a wo pese wo ye bia wo so fa nkrata abra ti nkofo ba yenso ye ba na ye no Awurade aye Adom ya na mo akodu Ghana amensi ahenu aduosia baako ni nyina mu na afi so ye modern bo ye wotu ye honhom ba Zoomlion na ye wo akade adidi dwuma nso ya me Adom enti ye nsa kan na ye ti ye ya mfie mienu ti mfie mienu hwen wodane ye ni mfie mienu bio a ye wo mu abepem March 2024 contract no edi wi enti contract ni bewu a ya na afenu ni nyina obi atimi kai ne nyonko se ebewu na ye tai kai kane nti ye san atwere se ebewu ye be ne den na wai ya wo hwe aban dwumadie no so no kyerɛ so ye betwemu abosomi nsia na ye de aye nhyehyɛ nti abosomi nsia na chi no September eno na ye nti nkomobo bi abio a ne ye de te ne abefo ntentan so
But from September no mugo so aye adwuma munja ye
na se contract ni ba wie ya enye se ba wie ye ne ye jai ye be wo ma ba busu miensa bi nti ye kura mu kopum sa ban sesa e ba ya bepum se nkomobo yi e di bebo odwa yi na ye ma ye husu bi
enti ye kasa ide even though say mu da so akram am ye adwuma
no aba wie ye enti no
abere nti betumi akasa ezia de mo mprapra krom mo ni saa yi no biom
ye yankasa de na bi fi say ye ni tumi bi asa ye kodi saa adwuma no
let's say from September no
September ne ba de ye kura mu ye ya
to when
kopim say aban sesan ba ye ayenti nkomo bi yi na ye dwuma di abrase wo ho
okay all right na na agreement na mo entire why na decided say mumma 258 allowance and farmer omo prano na 592 for logistics management na nko 597 bosa
medase won say adwuma ne abai de anti wono watwa ne bo a wode be di dwumadie no ho obede be bo dwumadie no ho bra 850 na yen de ye ya pafo a ye kosre pa edi na udo onkrata akọ so obedi pa wo tworo nioma a obetumi aye akade a obehia ne bo ene ne wo nso di dwuma ne wi a obegye nti ye keka ne saa enya sa wo ka ye nti ne de ama ye ne wa ye tena pono ho na ye di nkomo ye friend negotiation nti negotiation no mu no ena wa ye be ka se ene ye tua adwumayefo ne kase ena mo so mo se akade a mo behia akade we yepe enso ne bo no mo sesa no ye betu ya se edi ano enti akade logistics consumables PPs all together eno so ewo ho ena ye so ya pasika ye 168 endu 170 cedis po eno ne apasika no ne management services fee
168
also nti ne aka no uyi 258 ne film yi 168 ne film ne aka no ye de to entare mfidi a wode ye adwuma nioma a wode hyehye won ho ena ye de ma won di dwuma
then eno na nkofo ya dream ho es adent na so almost 258 ede ma obi opera na o keep nkae no
ya keep we adwumadie no sika na ewa ban ho enti won say yetua abosome miensa na ban de aman abosome miensa na yetua bromprensa aban tua yen
oh so much like 3 quarters
eka wumbe 3 quarters to almost 2 years
oh okay yeah kasa ya almost 2 years eka emma
yensan kahwe enti no se aban ne betua yen ka enya yen ye hye sika ye de ma oni oye adwuma no afi nya oye adwuma no why ne fa no why ne ma ne krata ID number wo so enye Zoomlion ID number sami enti appointment letter na ye de ama wo no usika obegie no ewum nya ye ne twere enti me ya na minti ase enwie senia amanfo twensa manko se ye ne yetwa bo na ye ma apraprafo no sika kuma bi na minti ase ye ranom ni wayefo wona wo hye empo akade a ye se yebeto nse ye di ano wo sere se o da bi we de ye betu ase enti se ye hwe ne ye kodwom ne ye betumi ato a ne age ato
okay ndo munye mo am cost staff wayefo
there be pacho
na mo am cost staff dan kan me diskan kakra be kan wana
ho na san me yu ano no ye fi ase e kakuma bi ne ye di mfie duru na fiti ase no na eye kanisika na ye die no 500 cedis na ye hwa de ehu se enuoma mu ye den wo kromu a fi se yemfie mienu enti eye sa ne atwere e de akoma ye wuranom wayefo so enuoma mu ye den ti ye hwe ne ensesam nti eno so ye besa akọ epono hu bio ana so se contract ne bere no so na so mbesa de aman a na yakopono ho na ye di nkomo ne yasesam ti ye pusu ama yasesam fitimfiti ase bepom ne ensesam bia aba apraprafo ne sikesam mu no ye di nka twro ho krata de kose yesrem amnioma ma ye din ye ensesam kakra enti no wan ye cost staff nenso akwan bebre ne ani om di hwibom eye adwuma afeso na se ye wurasan Japan ma memo bag ya obema om so mu ni bi o ma mi anwa obema om so anwa ni bi ye de why for team leaders no omom prapra no ekuekuo san wuwo mu nkumenkuma ye de sa team leaders ni bi eko Belarus eni Russia so omon konkore senia aprapra no wo mo nuanum bi eye no wa manone na ma omo so matumi eba no mo be ya o menya ahoden se o ye mi ye sa no bi so ye ne baabi wa ye mana ye fe ti ye sa ma wo nhyehyɛ ni sɛ ye koso no ye be koso aye nsa fi sɛ ade akyew ya ba akiri nti wo se yetimi ye na eye fe nti sa na enti
nti in the current renewal na mo hwehwɛ no mo propose an incrementing this guy the ma sweepers na
ye no ye di nkomo na kokodu sɛ ye ka sɛ afei nkomma o aha na ye duo no 420 Ghana cedis a enkeye na ka hunu sɛ aban so baby otre ne nsafa no edoso don't mean fan the sika nyina mesha de ba ko nti omo so omo yeso ke ma won 300 a enkeye eho na nkomo no ekosi
na mo ka 420 aban say 300
you why
oh okay interesting na obi ye adwuma the whole day na 420 300 yeah say alabraka wana
adwuma no midin kan kasa aban hunu se mebo ne ewo eman no mu no na bebre na wo hokwa wo nkura hwe nti we no eye bronisi intervention bibia odi be hyem na age mrante ne maba ne break akra se ne be ya omani so beba fom na sumdwe wo kurum kama enti se bia wa twere wo so hwe bia wie wo twen na nko wa be hyem wo pe adwuma unyanya bi na nka wa behiem kakra mfie mienu pe na nka wokọ na saa ene ye de hyehyɛ nti enye adwuma a se wunya wanya adwuma afebɔ eye adwuma bi a esoso wo biri mu na ama wan say wo biri wa ho
na but obey adwuma throughout the day
enti no adwuma no wa pra don't hear 9
4 hours
4 hours why ye adwuma che papa in a day 4 hours ye adwuma so dwada kusi memenda enti saa net ye enti say ye na ye hyiahia ebia da bia ye hia na ye tutu ye ho fo kakra tora bia na wotwe wo ho ani atwe won akọ baabi na ya ye nhyehyɛ saa nhye nimudie nimu no ye tu won fo say eye amunye biribi foforo emfanka ho na no kore wan kasa nso wogitum say wo kura nioma ahoro a wode won bere aka no eye
it is a moye adwuma 4 hours a day which means that for 6 days na 24 hours right 24 hours or they multiply 4 weeks and no amount 96 hours and to what the almost can divide that doesn't meet the minimum wage
honey dear say any minimum wage ni gina faako ana say nyina faako no me dear me ba say me bedi pa e na mama me dom say me hwe won so e na mo kire me sika me mfa ma won say bio minimum wage no aban na etwa hyehyɛ say yenye ni sei enti no na ho no meja ma yewura no
aban they know the momuni sa issues about say inventory aban na ka but sa module no omo so we 45,000 and now we 38,000
me ba cho nia minim ene say ye 45,000 won etwa oman mu hia
but why a friend say audit bi no obuso munya 38,000 na 7,000 aka no mo hen
minimara senia audit no ekoye na apraprafo no won nyina ante faako enka ideally e was a community bia mu no se fa no fa ha ye anka e pra ha ye nyina ete ha nti ne ofi a lenso we baby no wo mu firi baby fro kai ene ko baby e kwa ye fa so ma ne ba saa de minim firi se enye ye na ye fa won adwuma mu enti tore bi a wo frɛ won saa audit ne minim na make you audit ne be koso a mato nsa frɛ won na afa na ofiri baby bi eba ene ade enti se won nya bribi a eye soronko free ne yenim no ho de a ene na ne metimi aka wo ho ne saa akwansidia nkitikiti a ya na ewo ho yi nanso ni nyina mu no 45,000 no na yen ye de ye
45,000 eso Zoomlion more overstretched than then the biggest challenge in managing 45,000 for you
ne di kan said ye be managing them ne de shut down your how free say
okay
yen hyehyɛ no ye 3 tiered your national setting regional and a district
okay
enti and a district honso no ye wo team leaders a one sanhwe won so ye bubu omum kumankuma fancy bi anipa oha anidu ene wo fa no fa ha e bi emu edunum eko aduonu bia no e wo ba no dini baako omumu oha no na chese osisa obenya be se bi edu nipa du a wo hye supervisor baako ase director bi ni anti no nkomo no koyie enti se bi a obi ene ye koyie a ohu ne ntem no abo supervisor ma na ye na ba bi a wo se ye di yie to no na ye de ato ne dodoa ne de minyi ni se omu dɔɔso saa dia enka beso adwuma ni nyina ye pepepe firi se okonkura kese enu a wo se ebiri kɔbiri nyina na akwantempɔ na ye yeso adwuma ne wo tirem enti se bia eye single carriage way na ewo ho afie we ne ye ho adwuma bedum fie mienu na ebewu na ebeka se ye bie mu no na aye be se dual carriage mienu ya na me de tetekwashi madina ene ye mfato onse kwa na bebo won ta ba mienu enti se na nipedu na ye ho adwuma sesi a omo na ye ho adwuma na chese nkie nya kakra ka ho a na nka beboa
but I mean ohwe Adom se ne city regular auditor na monitoring ben na mo de check who say funds na more ascend no you're using it correctly. And again, reporting on the use of some more management fee more care per beneficiary. Systems ben and more they check it whether these are used correctly and reporting on that management fee no. I'm a Ghana for was okay. Say na moje but say na mode.
Madi catch him do a call at my phone.
Yes, me they can 592 management fee.
Management fee near 168 now 592 near logistics.
Okay.
Yet toy a new mabom pain baby. Fi say a jumayeku na utobo moa eboa. Ha nti ye tobo moa. Esan see a what regional structure, district structure. Was a show on ho na wachire ye nkota bia ne ya wo behia. Yen so ye wo auditors a omso ko ekwohwe stores. Kwa district level. Nyoma ye di aba no bria e wo se ye beba na we ni ho e wo se modeko na modeko bria e wo se ye beba na nyoma asa no ma twere krata aba se mo pe foforo ni ade nyina omo hwehwe nyina nti auditors ni ye won adwuma finance for no so stores for no so edi akire ye won adwuma nti enhye da nye a house a de e wo se ye de ko no bere no so a ye de ko dia e wo se ye to no wo krom ha so no bere no so a ye hwe de nyoma gu akwan ma ye to edidi dwuma
but unsa ya na workers ne ka say modem ka some period I don't know more releases can how do you check so mutu o mokana so muntua but we've had complaints with workers complaining say my intiaka
nanka yetua mpofa bank ene du baby no na ebi mo bank ko na kwa ebibi ho ti ye ni financial institutions ne bi din ko afa ni yetua fa momo so
okay
enti se momo no ko na se wo de a medu ana bibi etesa ubo amane a ebeba ba bedru soro ha na yahwe nya ye ho adwuma ama o ebetimi kra fro na waba bechi
okay my say adwuma ya for how long ne
yes asie mfie no ni nsia no
2006 right so you're almost 20 years next year
nyame Adom
but mofi say kwan ben na adwuma ya for so advance youth employment and improved sanitation. Kuemuate since I'm about 20 years.
Emuate papa.
Hey, where's your?
Mami nchiro. 2006 no ye ba no na sumuna akese esisi inkrotia. Kokro bi mu a wo se sumuna si ho. Firi kro bi mu a wo se sumuna si ho. Ye no mu ene ye boa na yetutu ni nyina fi. Nti saa wa yi ba yi eno so aboa ma akwantempon so ate na de ye haw kese ene meme na oyesu ni emban se me sori anopa na omienu na me ba be pra kodu be no num ma wie me ba bia me ye adwuma na fi no num ne fa no nsia no nson yetu abonten na bebo no Nnawotwe na hot se de na ete a na meme ne onso no ya moa yamwa efi bri a sha 70 sabre so no edom akonkura kese mu pa enti no yesu ni eban no na emmoa mefi no enkofom se kwate mase nti sa obusa se ye adwuma no enye waye no nko Zoomlion na adwuma ye nyina ye kabo mu a aboa ama man mu ate kese ye bae no ye adwen se ye bepese obia bepe border chance odi ni muragum na nkoye se apampan bi atu bokiti bi abo nti ye sheda ye bibia ye frɛ no free bean promo yes sa beans go articulate mu cheche ni baby akeke na nkofo gikra adi ye burogum ebi kra di guku ogum de ye neoma enye nu nti na ebaaye enna me no ka sei obi akondo se odi ni mura begu ben mu se kra ebi mu de aye adwuma wo hyehye ton ye baaye no na nipa eton waste bin o man mu na betimi akan wo enti ya ye adwuma afei woni aye ni won ye adwuma wa ye fo no ebi na mu abeda ne heavy duty truck operators titru ema no ye raka se ema na ka tricycle no ye na nika enti ye nhwe ne ye mpia wo enti ye kire wo ade na bebre na ntimi ntro nkenkan ye boa wo mom timi koje license ena ye train you say omonka landfill compactor skip truck compassion truck esesemmura wo afie mu ene ne etete sa ama ne eno abaye adwuma ama oma ebi mu kura ehunu se om betimi akọ school ato aso abaye accountant obasa prapra ni ba kokra minim no de wabaye PhD holder say
okay. But one of the issues asemba na ayeye kesene kakra ye sanitary adewe spraying and they can say Nyamudu spray gutters money ade no. Oh, there's a name for it. I want to remember. Covered by Abuyebi.
Disinfestation.
Exactly. Contract sign amukra. Yes, mukuta 3 in the various assemblies. Adentia.
Yawo minim say yawo NAPCOP. National Mosquito Project no. Eno ye boa ete entontom no modom a ewo no ewo ho no ase. Ena ye wodia ye de bo edwom ne baabi a nipa bo chinku a emmoamo a ebe haya adwen betimi awo ho eno ena yedi ho edwuma sa
na adentina monko amukuta 3 contract for the same purpose because who spray to check mosquitoes there said who spray edwom there the same enye
the same
really
experts na be catch enye the same edru a wo de be ye entontom ne de ne ejina baby ko a ade ko a wo pese wo yeso e bia wo target entontom ni nkosua eno na ho adwuma no nko e bia wo target entontom na nkasa wa apai eno no so ho adwuma no nko ena ne wo de bo entefre inkura eno so eno nko na ne sanka ye fie bo mosquito spray anka bibia anka ye bio
ndi eno nko na moje 3 contract for all the assemblies no
nia me kira ni say enya dwuma kro na baako edi woni a wodi contract ne maaye no so won so woye nimdifo wo saa dwumadie no mu enti say ye eduro baako na betimi adi dwuma ni nyina nka de nti na oni oda ano no na enye minyi ni say ye kuo baako so na da ano na ote wo no say masesa miensa nyina me de mama company baako e ma refi so say ye business ye nam ye pepa edie enti me ba on peso say me pepa medi na so so o me so me po bia di me pa ama me je na koye papa me nje nkoye me je makoye
aban say all renew about the Beko district and the region mba be de wo
ba bia aban de be fa bia ye mamba pa e be di akiri be say ye dwuma a e be boy atenase no no enti say why contract no contractor be any Ghana house why management no sanitation management no street cleansing management no to say the ayaye ene ne kese e wo Ghana hada enti no yentimi na ye bebem ya ba be ye bi
Mamemfa Ora kwesi Bainim Brem. He is a former DCE wa Hunter West about local governance and some what I say Obani amen Mr. Mo dem di ko won there
Is that all, man?
Good. Okay. Now, I mean, I not the Zoomlion war contract here was spy on Yado be renewed, but for your local district and a region. Even one year for the year obey ye.
Yeah, could you? Morning, Nachi.
Yeah.
Edumano, most sorting, a centralized Edumana, who to me on your papa.
Okay.
That ye Jumakura on the headquarters one can. Now, Oshe about 209 districts in this country. It cannot be the best for this nation. So, while teacher Manawayan district in Kakanka, we are sure there. Ono Obotum, Wama, Ejuano, Wakoso Kaka. More they can. Metema, my American idea now. Yes, maybe they are what battle, but in mere you know, I want to. Elephant Kana, oh, yeah, ceremonial street, they, I want a bone as Zoomlion no go, no worry, Juma. But what about the places that the people live themselves? How about no way all? Tell Mafa Hunter was up. Them Zoomlion, any time now obey you.
Yeah.
Any time. 2006 na American. Them time no obey. It's a hand ye born at Nashi.
Now on the DC for Hunter West then.
Yes. And a bonus. Just as it. But this time you can say, Equa Hunter West, we have about 130 something communities. No man him na Zoomlion for. No man him na war. Agwan kwanta. Mfuma. Upon one. Buzia on crowd because of the hotel now or one into bear 5 pay. Bear 5 pay. What can you nala big annual? Yes. We did to me that and a man from each other to come. Or then he also, you have a modern hit your win. Some Zoomlion on bear. And Kano, they were a hand for now. What you want authority? What do you do? Your day. Man, find your day. I need to Bolagu, man, find go ham now. It was better even in the smaller villages. In the Yedibidia got to Zoomlion. Now, Zoomlion, also, once a down engagement of a gala. That's it. It's my mother, Molacano. Yes, oh. My every most of some one in there. So, they are. One day, one teacher is human. Not Zoomlion, Naxan, with Juma, what to warrior, sister, or in ye, Mamutu, the way in ye. Only the way I walk off house to house. Now, wafa, bola, one coffee when if ye. Now, Busumo, and you're not like you lose one, you tell them. That is very okay. Walk alba, no abafa. Honestly, I did abano, or said it. And you're not yet sitting really a residential area, Nano Kakamuna Diniano, Ubiala. I already saw with Zoomlion, about for all baller, that in Penny Bien, Busumukro, in Penny Bassa, Busumukro, Busumsa, near Chiomanko. But the general neatness of the district. So this is Zoomlion, Namputin said, 1 year the make man. They cannot. They cannot. What but limit when they money to some places, and you go to almost everywhere in this country. If you are, I've been seeing it in war. I've been seeing it in war. See, if you or some Zoomlion there as one entity, what by the made me throughout the country? They cannot.
Okay.
They cannot.
All right. You. Madasi, down a place here to Safra, 2 million in common.
That's
it. And to me, Bisa, more contract, no. So more district be more. I was able to take care of the beer in the district and as a more defined community. Yeah, the mama.
Yo, me da say. Contract no mo no. I was say ye Akwantempong principal streets.
Okay.
And na Adom any public areas, lorry parks near the baby public areas. Baby a nipa tai bo chenku. Enya kwan bia so and there was a Zoomlion ekopra.
Okay.
Sa na wo contracting.
Okay.
Enti eya na obia adwin say baby a nipa fa bia e was a Zoomlion efa ho. Na me ne won so yadwuma ne sen say yedi ehu ni wo me. Enti wa feature ho kwan ne de enkoba se Zoomlion beba bepra.
Okay, enti for example, Hunter West no kind 130 plus communities and ye bia na some.
Ne baby a mensin no mu ho e friend say eye Akwantempong.
Okay.
Eho
highways
adwuma principal streets.
Principal streets. Okay. All right.
On e be ho.
Yo, Mate. My final question maybe son say monem ko for ye adwuma for 20 years, close to 20 years. Are there defined path? Waka so be a doctor there. Nemo more path be a dawa say only ye adwuma say ya you should graduate from being a sweeper to being a high more defined paths are.
Ni edi kan. Esa Zoomlion ye ni aprapra for na adwuma no nko. E na Zoomlion na nkasa nso na adwuma oya obi se oye adwuma o Zoomlion eno nso nko. Sa aprapra for die na wo ka dia. Aprapra for no na adwuma wura wo ho. Yen ne na eye adwuma. Enti se ehu sa wo bo wo ho modern a na ye de bibia to anim opa no aso mebi ne tricycle riders a. Empo ye sha ase epo na mema no nko ana na eka e na ma ni bi so mbe ye train o ye na ye de o mo call heavy duty truck. Enne o ma be wrem abeye Zoomlion mainstream staff. Enti sa path no e wo ho. Wo ba mu ye mainstream no crowd ba mu as a janitor. E be wi che kwa na chief driver.
Okay.
So when you na o pray so pe bibia suade a. Papa bi watermali o say me be mu as a janitor ene me kura ka me nso me kura janitors too
okay
enti no ye shed ban cry say onko nanim nya ba bia ba ya wo betena no
okay.
ho ana betena
sa papa no first ka de bre o de come ni run na
David Shaivu David
okay ono sika no mu de amane de ma hwe no kama
oh ya hwe no pa
okay all right
hwe no
me da se meja mo akwe last word out beja o mo hwe
yo ebusuafo adofo ene woni a Zoomlion asomdwe hu hia won eno pe me ma mu nyina ache na ne me sre ne se Zoomlion Ghana Limited ye adwumaku a Ghana mra age ya tom se yetimi ye adwuma wo Ghana ye adwuma no wo mra kwan so sedia ye ne obi a ye ne no wo contract ahyehye enti no ye ne wo ye adwuma sedia ekono saa ne ye de to na afi esan se ahunidi adwumadie na de ye bebo atenase enti me kɔ emesrew se wo ankasa nso si wadwe mu pɔ se wo behwe se Ghana ahunidie hu behia ho ene sen wo ka fi na hwe na tete fi na wo ka no so bibi wo ho a wo betumi de adane ani aye bibi foforo ayi free enwura no na siesie na fa ya de foforo na ekire nche na afeso wo nwura no so chichim se rubber na bo abam nkofo toto fegu nchen wo de peboto bi na fegu ntimi nto waste bin na fegum na ye ma ombeba abeto na fa de pro no sugum said ye be ya eno no ye didru compost plant honoma na yetimi adane ani ni aye ne fefu na agreke fo no so de adidwuma
okay you medase obi asene from Kroma Grand Kwanta momre track back o say de na
and I'm cancel
yenko to our next subject I know ye CJ and in sense somebody beto dwa ne pressure or ye Nnawotwe we or den sem bebre eto dwa ye mbona wo so tie bi ye ba ye be di honkomo
Suspended Chief Justice Sir Gertrude Arapa is about Torkornoo ozin sem bi botu gwa ofan nsam or kodo or kwana over there we know today Chief Justice or Mangana Muno ozitu gwa there say hwe za onam do mande onye omamu nyina kasa na ogina ndoma banando na dam banano osusu de se wankasa na amanfo ehu za orokodo na anhwa dabi obi a oye judge anade oye adwuma wo judiciary bia no obi a botum zi petition bia akode dami petition dami yimpi wayamfumdom bi nti na onamdo ama weyi nezi
is that the removal process that I'm involved in as Chief Justice is historic. In all of Ghana's 68-year history as an independent republic, there has never been a hearing for the removal of the Chief Justice. One would therefore have hoped that if such a process becomes necessary, it would provide good guidance and precedent for nation building.
Onwuzoro kodi nyina de oye anamoni bi a wetu de ono ankasa as Chief Justice no wonpe de obeye adwuma ono nti ne wetu de ma anamo no na onam Ghana ne da achi nti na ne kabimam kebinti enya aza ono ozo ne adwuma boto.
Persons who care, persons who may not know me beyond my public duties, and many who think that since these proceedings seem to be carefully staged to result in my removal as Chief Justice, it would be best if I just retired or resigned, rather than subject myself to an ill-motivated process. I have also received threats and veiled threats to the effect that if I fail to resign or retire voluntarily, I will be made to suffer some harm or the other. I've also heard commentaries in the media about how this process was born out of a stated political agenda to remove me and control the judiciary, and that it is a political effort that can only result in an outcome that was decided long before it started.
kwaba biom oguswa hwe na Nnawotwe dwumadie se fia trying ho ewo Sempa 94.7 FM. Earlier, all to say and mame Emma Adwa Pia say Dia, Corporate Affairs and Communications Director for Zoomlion Ghana Limited. On now to say any dinkomo first one. Na yemre. Na memma Nana AJ ono a member of the NPP's National Communications team. Mema na kwa Nana biawako.
Minia nyame Adom. Ehwode, jidi se so hwode ne.
Oh, nyame dia chame pa me ho ye. Mahmoud Kabore, a member of the NDC's National Communications team. Mahmoud, good morning.
Good morning, Abuja.
Now where do go say him?
Eguzo yeso.
Kanokre. Na me
Esi awadaro ma onua kuma me na me kasamafo. Maswafo he former gudie tu nsase kwa bretu no honkro ba.
Oh, until honorable ama what is okay. It what in the one kakra?
Binguzo amisia.
Ugozo.
Memra ho na meji ju. Aye kwa ho.
Okay. All right. Afiyemra CJ nsensem no mu. Mamisha simfi oho Mahmoud. Now CJ can send the baby. I mean, oka baby cram or ya de Eldu Lodge and the fact that baby ani offer now channel sebio some time ago mukuno or trese as we speak now petitions are committee ni jina so krade na adwuma no kra no on nsan kan ye momfama committee nsunti or trese it's been difficult for honoring the lawyers to get the work done. Again, OTN in Sem Kanimua. As a committee now, imagine say instead of some proceeding on this, on inquisitorial no, or more, as a normal litigation officer, a name ran a webra. Only case to be talking by now.
Me that's be my mama baso jumaso mudi na yafa said that PC ba wati for no hwefo. Ono waje brenda daje eti anopai. No pay say baby makura obi owura abakofi gba ohwedwumade mama ncha na member number so obai it's been wonderful start na say overfication na onye mba e dibu ha ya fatumanim na anu yebu ho but it's been wonderful start ya start ya counting your glories. We've identified few challenges, few loopholes, few weaknesses, being uncoordinated, your friend is saying, soups are yeah, on the way cooperation or no way cooperation. And then I'm so I'm just a nano, you launched the NIMOS. NIMOS stands for National Anti-Illegal Mining Operation Task Force. I say you been that coordinated platform one. You quite him say ne team we ne ko enko base we na akofa how be aba na friends agency we na is a myth. Yes, myth nam high. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. And you know, yeah, but share all stakeholders. Say obi wo mo bia opese o de boa okunya ye nyina ye kuno. Let's link up with NIMOS na omone the security mpenifo omuna akwadare dwumadi no mu a de ahye omonsa na adwenfoforo bi omonso wono omfa anka omode ho na dwumadi no enwie peye ma menchia me a mebra pani owura lawyer Samijamfi anopa so ohwe dwumadi no ya mame esaba tukono na no ade a obeye no meti ha me nya lawyer ni me and I wouldn't claim to be one. But at least kakra ye DHD ni nkomodi e koso ade a obeye na no ya ade a watoto oman Ghana mrase.
How so?
Ade a waye no e ya ade a waheda na wabu nani agu oman Ghana mraso. Senior practicing law for 38 years in fear biasa nwotwe na unim processes are cases are processes are yede article 146 NAD unim nhihye akwankyera ewo ho na still unim se asem sa akora ba yentu no srani abasa kopem se ebedi asem na wie yemfa asem no mu enkomo meto abadwam kopem se ebedi asem na wie ansana menasipo bi wo ho a wayi ababontin.
Now, so feel a fundamental right.
Fundamental right in the
now.
Fundamental right in the
petition. More committee crown with Naso Day and a crown. She doesn't know.
petition be no respond ya ejina the response oh mpajo say we nim board boy so ya yehwe ni nim hwe nti saa na wo kasa ya eti so nim tie petition also when ya bi no which petition na mampani for the man no a wo gina so de ho response by ya etimi determine even prima facie in the first place na me na no aye mi no enunti for coming out to talk about issues in that petitioner when him say mremu eni ho kwanse ye sade no that alone is a stab at the back of the Ghanaian law. That also mean no adia committee ne ye no you say the committee assumes quasi judicial powers and the committee no adwuma o ye no enye say omu wi a say eno ano no say committee wi ne say this is our verdict ye wi ye bobo nsem ni nyina ho no was ye de tu benkum ye bobo nsem ni ho nyina na was ye de tu nifa na maami tu kono won tiasia you know you can always apply for review of that verdict enti say bibi kura ni a adan na wonti mentwe masa amra nu nro na obesiki for review a what me siki for that review na oba bonten na oto nsem a sebe wonim se mramu enkoyi na odi go abonten she has not been a leader babia wo bia na no pai obia wo tie nkanchire maami tu kono se me say she should bow her head in shame because the oil, no, practicing law for 38 years shouldn't warrant her to do that. Everyone say threat ban so. Opening, se see how it has will be huna and I will be born to her. A media on abeko. What you want me to go no fee? Make a worry with your minimum fee. Nana J. Nimifee. And to ya would done nearby media by a maniano. Ye bed down on home by. I said media near or how to learn Kufuor. Is that the first point of call? That's the question. Legitimate question. Choice. That be T. Cecilia Wujina Hay. Say boy area want to mean me yari ntinu me tra dokuta ni akwako boku ya niamane. So there is always a first point of call. And the other na wo tra the relevant security agencies. Now over bekaje yet before say and na say you don't feel safe. People are threatening you. And that is why I said on your sister station said after the press conference, Mami who said she's a perfect female version of Owura Chamahun to me. Because what she did, what she did is directly synonymous to what Wontumi did. Ghana for sorry, NPP for sorry, Munti. So be threatening now by media. They say Ghana for sorry, threatening me. Yeah, 33 million Ghanaians, we don't have police protection. What about press conference as a crowd? You had police protection. You don't feel safe. Who security protection? You don't feel safe. Me adwa ta ba me tesere so me kuro mu kwan kura enye ye sumu so no a wo be ka chem na na je na me nyamfa ho ntinkofo threaten na mema na nka so oba na o say ya man bia bom entre ha 1 2 3 ma report ma dental police station police fo nye ho hwe eti media Ghana fo mu nyina mfo ma no tumbe that's legitimate. You don't throw blanket statement out there. Obi a woni mmara mpani sesa be woni mmara yan toto mmara ase enti eno so ye no enya de pa afa we say asem no kura ye die no yan so camera si so magana fo nyina hwe bi eni ti kura ti do susu se ntanjia bi ekoso mami like I said nyen nne no odi ye mmara chi senior in 1995-1996 Ghana Bar Association versus the Attorney General na in camera the same article 146 situation. Now we are 2005. A year, your friend say, Owura J. Any Attorney General. It was in camera. And I'm of year 2015, 2016. Justice Derrini, Tiger IPI. It was in camera.
Yes, yeah.
All these precedents, case laws are there. Nti die na mama me no feel say no you special.
Na say
we soronko.
Me waka kan na those case laws no enye about the Chief Justice.
Is it about issues of Article 146 or not?
It is.
It is not about the personality involved or the position involved.
You say once it's about the CJ.
No.
Let him go for see the story. That's why.
That be CJ provisions no ne akwankyere na da ho no. Eye for nipakuo bi. Se provision can see you do CJ so dia yenye say dia then obetimi approve that contract document and evidence. Once there's none, any quantum porno Abraham Faso kwan no a ye abaakro no e de botachi na duru ba won ma na no nye kom na ye mfa nye den ye mfa mo no ya mani kuna nwura mu ankoja no enu nti no ofio say ntantia bi koso senior Kofi Yesu okwo wi abode okwa obukuruwa ye de ne ko gina docket mu no o yire o yesu ya ma na yire me gina docket no mu bi we ye no kura free wa in which of the past friends and precedents as far as article 146 concern no and ye interrogation ye ma obi abusua pani ye ma obi akanchema ye ma obi yiri anani kunu kokko jano which of them so I feel ya maame no ya nya ye o ya nya entitlement issues bi as of so no ye too special and above our laws was so no asemu aba no ye man of special treatment which is not so. So because so wasem ba ye na sem aba ni ono kire ba bi eni na sem so telling me say a certain bad history with AL Adu lodge honum hona wo fa bi
na dentina hona mo pese mo ya de no
adentina hona sese ye no
because tio waka say 146 ABI no there's a president
yes.
John Konkofa.
Yes.
In all of those,
yes.
And also, say, in the judicial the complex.
Yes, that's
it. Say she's not okay to refer to say someone income.
Okay.
Again, but she is wrong to say a do lodge na she disagrees.
She is the first person biaya ye akwankwan nua na se ayetena di asem no ene inu sa akwankwan nua na se wura asem na aba nti say to be fair to all parties also on your neutral ground.
Okay.
Nti bone be ne wo
and she has issues with a do lodge.
That na issues wo ho ofa memeti hey me na ajada adu udu fase obi onim kumase bi anim se tafo o tafo ada ho ne yi no benkum ni nifa so nyina na yafunsiye mmere bi bedu ye na nifa so wo ye dwi ya afunsiye na kodi benkum so a ne tafo government hospital nyina ba be di nifa so honsa timina na jadu ana na afunsiye wo ho na na me yare ne ye de me kwatafo government hospital me say ha de me wo ba past history bi a ho ne yesie me na nanti no mo de me ko what kind of no ni argument
say bon tuo
senior aha yebo me na natuo wa nti me ngwaja yaresa.
Okay, all right.
Openi no kura de nkontompo na no kura bata dosu asem no kura ye ba kope eye trodo mpacho watase no kura ka wo we at said de wo wi atadwe ba bia ye be wo baka kwatena wi no bia wo tene de enti I don't believe Venus should be an issue, should be an obstacle for my men no kura bi e wa asem ana ntansa ye dia bonu no ye hwehwe mu no me sure say venue e ko ka no na e wo say ediba no kura bi a wo mu no onka no kura no na said the bible kan no e be san ti sa pass onye boni a ma mi beto na dwuma so ade ho so aye bibi so dia obi foforo beto adwuma no so no man na fa no ntoma perfect
me da say Mahmoud Kabori of the NDC no na of the NPP na but otie na Kabori kana there are case laws I say you see the same way and the internal chief justice on the say chinchina cha yema amanfo nhwe na eco committee hobby again petitions no are responding I don't know say na dey ohun ye
many ameda was na memfa kwanya we sunchia the former president of the republic Nana Danko Kufuor maminchia no pa obabibi o afa suminchia the former first class vice president Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia maminchia no e obabibi o na minchia me amira chairman Odeno Kwaku Apia Kuka
okay.
The incoming Ashanti regional chairman for the New Patriotic Party mamchia mira obabibi o ene anopen senior Utie Mahmoud Kabore and the NDC communicators na yama omu nyina one communication say omoba radio so a omomeka say is either say one omuhu petition no Shining Star ayagba mo edi akoma eye presidency yemfanyi eye the chief justice in free ho two ye ba yembe super eye the chief justice nti anu bi na menua Mahmoud betna ha oye yi a wo ka kire ewiase ne Ghana nyina say Chief Justice no or the woman version of Nnawotwe. Can you imagine? Yem fa ni die nyede emma wona enidie se wo. Because ye kika sansem we a mo be ma ye ho kwan ma ye so ya attack mo nkrofo ni bi. Because Chief Justice ne raise concern. Say petition a nkrofo de aba mampani a ocheso yi ebo akire ma me se me ye de me responding. And now respond ye. Ohunu enioma bi a ewo eye petition mu a yesi ye nyina so nye den ye mfanyi the Chief Justice ne free go. And now mampani ati abeduku so mo nkotena eye sansem we so. Na ye hwe de omode beba no no mampani aye den react ewo eye sa recommendations na so. And Chief Justice na ka say, "Oh, anya abeduku a ya pa mo se mo ntena sansem we so." Asem a mu ede bomi na se case kwa mo de bomi no mo ma me hwe se eye that petition na omo de baaye no eno me respond to in eno ana mu gina so ede bomi eye sa kwa edu we ana committee ni se there be emfama afen so committee ni tena ase no eno se ye won krofo mienu bi a eye Daniel Fori ene Shining Star mi amaka se ene enka menso mi nya akonya na me ye den mi misa wo min cross examine wo mo committee no so said there be ear mount cross as a miss uncle for we.
Man we embrao.
Iti edin.
Man we embrao. The laws, the law, Ghana mrano, Emma ho kwan. And again there are case laws in your kind. Emma ho kwan to decide say mem bam be na ho make case be on wa candidate.
Grant sort say. Also wa candidate. And a committee ni say on tia say Emma mama ni yede enye sama no. Iti ye bisa say ediem pa na President Mama and the NDC for any committee no omugina so e de aboma me ne kwadu. Iti petition e de da abonten. Menia. Petition ba ko say the Chief Justice o hoyi or recommending Kufuor e ma President Kufuor the then president. Say on pound Kufuor nye den enko e the Supreme Court. Iti Shining Star ne Daniel Fori ani ayagba mugina so say it says a wire recommendation ama president say on pound Kufuor bi nko eye the Supreme Court no eno no eye unconstitutional wa form mra enti enu nti yenyina sa asem we so na yenyi the Chief Justice ni free ho we eto aso recommendation for judges say empower mo Supreme Court eno obi atro ho petition akoma President Mama say President Mama gina no so the Chief Justice free ho and we etazum it is I say why ya de bia or say fabra na Ghana fo nyina ye de emfa wo mani ye de en witness because on nim say wo krom ha say ye recommend obi koma eye president so on appointing ko eye the Supreme Court and no so yetumi gina obi ejina so eye Chief Justice free wa mi de minim iti say obi abehu a obi adwene mu beda ho nti no fa betina pete na ye nyina ye de ye nhwe.
Okay.
But also Debbie on Tiase. Also on Tiase. Inti eya ye say eye boapayo pa and NDC for ejina super so muyi eye the Chief Justice ni free ho. Eye boapayo because she petition ya Daniel Fori mu tro yi per eye this recommendation see. Omu General Secretary wo hoyi. Eye fifi kwete NDC General Secretary. In last year August month baby. Okase sa same way a Daniel Fori mugina sui maame no eye ye unconstitutional inti NDC ba omo behwe mu biom ndiene me na neje me wo every right to say eye NDC fo na abon krofo pass omo tro petition bra ne fa nkonko yi maame ne free ho ene ho na mo no mo ye den omo tu e wo krom aseye iti omo wa adwin bi say omo ba omo yi the Chief Justice free ho no ma yi the Electoral Commission na maame ne free ho iti omo shase with the Chief Justice and na me no ka say unim say Electoral Commission ma no so onen nkrofo mo so omukonda so because the national chairman of the NDC General Sedun Ketia wakase san nkrofo ni nyina mo so yempam wo mu so yawe enti omo say omo pam the Chief Justice no ma pam a friend saying the Electoral Commissioner chair because so want to deal with the Chief Justice to me deal with the friend saying the EC. Because omunim say isi die ba also bo echire koma eye the Chief Justice. It also bo echire koma the Chief Justice no. Chief Justice no mo say na Kufuor do na de ne bae. It's ye kwa ebi ano wanyene one twe amayen. It's yen dealing with the Chief Justice first. If we are dealing with the Electoral Commissioner, chairperson. It's Ghana for ne busuafo mutie ni nyina no. NDC for na abopa say omuntro petition mra ne fankunkuyi the Chief Justice in free. And NDC so in opposition ama yati ase say omo yi ma me free ho. And President Mahama on record. Tieni President Mahama on record. Akache wiasini Ghana nyina say it will take a new Chief Justice to redeem the image of the judiciary. President Mahama ne kan yo yemi na neji nam kan. It's your no opposition or Santi Abem no. And Shenitrim say what's the Chief Justice ni free because on record President Mahama say it will take a new Chief Justice to redeem the image of the judiciary. And no one among no yede otuye. And NDC in opposition and in government. Felisofosu kwache February any March move. Or can I say for the past 32 years the Judicial Service of Ghana and the NDC funding.
But they also know right to say, despite to point you to case laws. And Yedi was Supreme Court war answers to questions baby no bisano. Are they not right to be pointed point by
the issue is the NDC, remember the NDC ni say for the past 32 years, TNE, for the past 32 years, the Judicial Service of Ghana and the NDC indeed. It's almost balancing you. Oh, just February 2025 year. It's almost balancing you. That is the reason why Omuchina so almost chinchileka. I was see a yama in the free on. Now, we shall petition be grandpa. Tio petition bako ekase. Mami no a transfer judge be from Accra to Kumasi. It is a transfer judge no from Accra to Kumasi no. Yena so any a friend saying Chief Justice in free. Asem we etaso. Na wutie ba akokra esan wo mukra na. O se ma me ne a friend saying okokot say ayama akologu okokot e na ma me ne ball na asem tugu ye. E na o se ma me ne make comment bi na ono ayama no hu ne say disrespectful to eye wono. Iti enu nti yenyina sa asem ne so na yenyi Chief Justice in free. We etaso. You can see, say, a clear agenda. Say, ye the Chief Justice in free. Now, the NPP, ye can't want some baby, no. And ye say, for the 68 years of my ye, ye said, who president chinchin. On any crop for your margin say, ye be the Chief Justice in free. Ye won't be that. And my men cry on record, say, ye won't be that. Say ye just say chinchine can ye the Chief Justice Africa. And MPP stands and say, my seti president been to wa a bit now mind with that. Because already yen institutions are who do a work from as I know, you're politicizing. It is the judiciary no already no one this for more opposition no matu sa judiciary for you sa bepem enedue. It mayen sete a bad president been to wa ebema aban bi obeba ne say e wo se wode ni Chief Justice ye den e hye ne botomoba because immediately I obey sad we no u pevi we say next government bi obeba no oba ono nso mfa ni Chief Justice e hye ne botomra na omo nkrofo pa ne entrocho petitions ahodo na yenka se yenyina no so ne mfa yi Chief Justice ne free. It is at the Bonino and at the New Patriotic Party. Ye can't want some say, Shena Yankwan could do Sabieno. Because you could do Sabiana and be a dangerous amount my way. Because Obiati Krumha, as we send this co-position, yes, Omeko position in the year 2028. Omoko position now by me back. No, so the Chief Justice back. Then this before the Massam corner say, your book assembly to go. All right. Ask yourself, say, assembly no mobeka ukruma. Mati. It is Sabia in the MPC bede. You be do okay. Na Ghana Frontier say, a dream pa, John Mahama and the NDC afa say, Omei the Chief Justice.
Oguswa share Nnawotwe Jumudi or Adom TV, UTA or Radio Swaha, Asempa 94.7 FM. Meba Minia Mahmoud ho by Nkunkoti Felix of Osukwache response of the Chief Justice after so here in the press.
Let me point out that as yet nobody has been able to ascribe any known verifiable constitutional breach to the president in the way that he has handled this particular matter. From the very first steps in this matter, the president has kept fidelity to the Constitution and has respected the spirit and letter of the Constitution. Everything he has done has been by the book. That is why all those who have commented on the matter, including her leadership, the Chief Justice, have been unable to point to any specific provision under Article 146 that the president has been in breach of. Second, in terms of confidentiality, the president has acted strictly in accordance with the Constitution. At no point in time has the presidency put out anything in any way, shape, or form that remotely resembles any of the contents of the petition. And the only communication that has gone out on this matter have been about the steps that the president has taken in accordance with the 1992 Constitution, Article 146 to be precise. Is that the attempt to link the dastardly killings of some Supreme Court judges and a military officer to this case are most disingenuous. To begin with, this government and President Mahama have nothing to do with the killing of any judge. Second, there's absolutely no nexus between the petitions that have been brought and that unfortunate incident in our past. So any effort to link the two is regrettable and should not find space in this sort of discourse. It is most undesirable, it is most unacceptable.
All right, into Felix Kwachi Ofosu and our turning Kano. Mahmoud, I can't be the party between if I handle this issue, Yasum Betoye.
A quine tampon, I papa. And I said, it will follow the provisions of Article 146. And free as chassis, a beppement name in Nnawotwe. Meaning, who any process in that law.
But there's something called precedent.
Yes.
I didn't know more acceded to the request. Na mama live telecast or the process.
And to all my precedent, I am a live telecast.
Oh no! I mean, this can be a precedent.
No,
this can be.
I don't think. Yes, every mistake is a new start. This mistake, I think the framers of the law had a reason.
But what kind of election petitions? Now, live telecast. It was someone's time, and we decided, no, let's go, let's telecast it.
What we are discussing are matters of law.
Yeah.
When the law says, don't make the content of the petition public until a determination is made.
Is it a shall?
Whether shall or whatever it is, we are trying to protect certain, even, you need the anonymity of even the person sponsoring that particular petition is also key. Until you call televised, are you protecting them or you are exposing them? But what I say. Okay. So these are matters of law. I think just as we've done in the past, we should be able to do it now. So Nanaji, Ubia friend is communicator Bianco shared them on Kase, Okwa, Kokase, na enkoye katasumu amwasuno marano na NDC communicators, government communicators, yakanyati as say petitions like this are not supposed to be made public. I will not be lured, I will not be tempted to join you because what you are doing is unconstitutional, and I will not be tempted to join that terrain of unconstitutionalism. You can be insinuating, you can be mentioning name we are only here to correct certain erroneous issues you are putting out there. And I know the Muntimi and Putisa falsehood do know. I don't see how equating Chief Justice to your party chairman an insult. And of course, I even did that in a contest. Mr. Chairman, Muntimi, when the law enforcement agencies invited him to come and answer certain questions, he was calling on the people of Ghana. The same thing when Ghana for an institution. FM, I mean, it's an Umbra committee. Now, Sembi and Nipa Bidia Bodo, no me yano. What about the media? How different are you from Muntumi? So I placed that in a contest. And even Sabian, in terms of even direct reference, I want to be only partner, and after the Wapa chairman. But I mean, that is another topic for another discussion. If Nana J would meet Naha, these are some of the erroneous things they are putting out there. And this in a high nipa and a petition. Would it be safe to say, NPP in a high nipa and a petition leading to the removal of Charlotte Osayana? What kind of political communication is this? Asemunaba. Until now, senior, is there any evidence that Chelsea Mameno, Yabuano Fana? I don't say, go where Chelsea committee a dinner some way, Mamma Yabuano for. Now then, a committee in a Juma no man a year, so obey beam, so obey a four. These are possible outcomes, these are possibilities. Now, as some dear CPA, now the money taking one stand. Na mu conclude na no na mo de adane trap yesi wano and na mo de bo hondawo. We don't do that. Enti yema oman no mra no enye na dwuma. Ba bia so de body hunu be koja no. Na afe obi wo me na sepo bia. Wode aba na ye nyina na ya bobo hu. But not until then no de. Obi a de wo ka bia ye bosremuka. De obi abeka ye hurudahura dasem. De obi abeka eye clothing for unfavorable and unwarranted public sympathy. And see the marano ye juma sa minko kanye hunu me mobo minko kanye meta mati minko kanye nkase me na me yanko nam no emmam okay e marade ye nyina ya tena se so man ya kurunchie di ensa hyase and then marano ye juma ye ma marano nya den enye na juma for honorable Felix to criticize an institution. Okay. Say, right. On no view ni for 32 years. 32 years, NDC has appointed Chief Justice to the judicial system. Number. Yeah. And how does that make you level that unwarranted allegation against Honorable Felix there or Tata Chief Justice for? NDC is what the Chief Justice for. It was his personal view, one way or the other. So how do you make that justification? How did you arrive at that conclusion? Communication no abandon no there. Said ye Marano see, said the Aquanchile no tear, said the Assam no tear. Ultra Bibi are the Taranwa, and then Puna Bata, I boy, a boom task or among for great years at the game. Yan cano couldn't know, because the people watching and listening, they are better place. Maybe any day, I say, I tell you, when you've been here, and to me, said the Ghana for doing in Aka, said the post were Nano Unia Musadankwa Global Info Analytics. About 70% and more believes this process will continue unabated. Na ye hunu ba bia mrano ene asegwe emkwakwe. That is matters of law. And if you don't appreciate provisions of the law, no, they are different. But maybe I believe we should allow the law to take its course. Okay. All right. And again,
Senior Mahmoud, NTS the NPP, your stance is very simple. You can defend a year the committee and more person will defend your mobia. But yen say, yen person na hobi bebedaho. Because 68 years, when we say president be about changing it, also ye Chief Justice every. Because President Mahama on record, then they were you can read. Also, it will take a new Chief Justice into a year a junior woman trim did that. And ye can was him. Because the President Mahama one cast as him we are. Me na neje men kada. Because one in the new to say, oh here new Chief Justice. It ye mo ba na mo tata the Chief Justice. Na ma me ne e ka ho asem a. Mo say ade na ma me ne ba eye media mu ebe kasa. Huh? Na Attorney General na oba ye obe free press conference na o keka nzem bebrebe no. Na yen ya obe ka kire na yen so yen ne de. If Mahmoud way no logic no say ma me ne be ka kire yen de ya. Attorney General no so oba ya every blessed day and we akofasika where you say yen no so ne de. For ni akono court. If you think so with the bonia for the court. It is a name ma me no so e kasa. NDC for no kwa pai. NDC for no kwa pai say adenji na maame e kasa. And also Felix Ofosu Kwachi is on record on one kanye say 32 years near the judicial service no only NDC ni ye. And obia betumi agogola cha wajatum. So also on one personal view. Yes. On Felix Ofosu Kwachi ye bonidi as government communications daben. And your president Mama Bayano Yeno, a government spokesperson.
Yeah.
And our cast somewhere in February. It is as government spokesperson. Now our cast has them where what say a on one views, a NDC for views, so people, a NDC for views. And a woman trim so say, Omonimundi ni etina in opposition. Matu a judges for one. Why in a coffre or unanimous FC? And you sit here was there. Why in a two unanimous FC? And your president Mama this year. And a from judges in unanimous FC. And then also appointed judges for. It's a next microphone or appoint you mko a yede a Supreme Court no on also be from say. Send the wapa 7 ko anamebo. Wapa 7 ko. It's a non so no omoko ka unanimous FC no ho anase omoko ka timbe ho. Mu oppositioner. Mo kasa mu hwe. And then mo ba be mu na mo ye defenders of the committee and also the judiciary. It's Mahmoud. Se mamene kasa mo manin kasa. Se o baby a mo ye no se enya mo ya aban o tie no na mo ko baby pa obe feel comfortable so that obetumi ayede aka eye nsem. And also so se mo famra metudwa mo se boni bia eni ho a mo famra metena bedwem na yahwe because ade a na no kura tumi bo man petition election petition eno kura ye telecasting obi ehunu ye assemble na esi okroma so wo si wadi boni a for betina bedwem na ka na obi ante e bona obakotena fi but a sign say munim de wo mutrim na munim adwene mu detail chirenti e na mu de akwakohye eye baabi a mu pese mu de ko hwehwa eye maame no nti se mu fi say bibi enimu a mu fa mra na ka me hu ye wo si wadi boni for ba beto Ghana na Ghana fo nyina hu say oh maame ni ye ABC e na de yi ni free ho
okay
dan se wo de ba kokokoshe kukuo mu a obia ente ho asemo di Mahmoud nyabotre se wo se pense maame no obeka che yenyen de ya kache watani general say ono so di nkofo a obom kwadu ebegina medium no ono so yenye ne din wo asem ya take it to court.
Okay, all right, thank you very much, gentlemen. One thing many is the composure, my comporting, and I would always love to have you on the show. Madam Wasi, I'll see you this year. To be sorry, so
my chair for
yeah, why not?
Na can't share a chief was a sign that you power on for Adom money. Just as some like I had a day. But my man can say, good father, so Mampania Waba or Yin Electoral Commission. You, Mammy, you be your Metiama, me took on no pay. Thank
you very much. On Cabio,
Maminchia, I am of Fanya, Communina, a Shanu Bia party for our Magic Brown Moshe. Okay, me, I'm a Brapani, Dieta Imedu, and America Sabuaje. Dr. Lulu and Mr. Dick Maminchio Munina. Okay,
Dr. Lulu Muntaka.
Yes, okay. Yes.
So Nanaje is a member of the NPP's communications team. Mahmoud Kabori, a member of the NDC's national communications team. Ono also no ye Kasama for the lands and natural resources minister. Shall I post a song?
Oh, did you pitch? Oh, did you pitch? No, Kumasi. This is what in crying.
Martin T. Got the next issue about, former President Kufuor advice or the Amadi NPP. Say, me mamun she say bia more 20 or be, and I'm more be 20 or be based on the religion, and any tribe or fee. Because the MPP and no be defining MPP for as who musi etie yen konkosheno eba ya de san common so betwaso on the show.
Want power, we want to present a person who would be convincing to the generality of the electorate. Can this man we are presenting help solve problems for the community at large so the benefit spreads across the board for all? We look at that this way. If we tell the truth to ourselves, we may see that the way we've been brushed by our opponents from way back. Oh, you are a tribal party. Oh, these days we are including even religion. You do that, and it comes from our mouths, then I tell you, we are perpetuating if we do not change our minds and do not think critically, and then seek solutions through hard thinking. I'm telling you, touch wood, Look, we wouldn't be the first party that went out of operation. We are democratic. We believe in justice. Our motto is freedom, development in freedom. And we want to feel like everybody is getting counted. So please, let's go back to the drawing board. Look at ourselves critically. Look at our opponents. Look at Ghana generally. We are democratic. We believe in justice. Our motto is freedom, development in freedom. And we want to feel like everybody is getting counted. So please, let's go back to the drawing board. Look at ourselves critically. Look at our opponents. Look at Ghana generally. We are democratic. We believe in justice. Our motto is freedom, development in freedom. And we want to feel like everybody is getting counted. So please, let's go back to the drawing board. Look at ourselves critically.
Gentle Giant, Yenina Jatum say he is a repository of wisdom. And you know, Bibiania or Kasawi din quiet no tino kama. Or no, in some way, Edutuja, Edema NPP for. Well, Mema me wafaba kwa by Dr. Adom Kukisi, our former Anyaso Tum MP. Doc, Bibi aboko there.
Open boko, I'm say, Nancy Insuto.
Ane.
See. Whether na cool.
Yeah.
See. Fancy be able call show no eswatika.
Okay.
Na no. I think some more about so. Me share some na discussions na call. I shouldn't go into it, but I think I will. I told you na misuma omaino.
Okay.
Misuma omaino because Yama politics I take over everything.
Okay.
May share more discussion about Chief Justice Asemna Namiraho. Arehone say Nanka executive Nidia Oba or your nomination for Parliament na parliamentarians Nigeria to say okay, they want the speaker to be this person. A bad Chief Justice there usually no Oshe George Nnawotwe. Oh, me grey hair. Sorry. Oshe George Nnawotwe. Kufuor appointed no. Now you're at Tamils by he managed the space very well. Me can't in some way Kufuor George Nnawotwe and the fact that sad time nimpo na me find say NDC NPP yen toka no ding. You know, na ni bien by nti na ye ginemu pa enti wo hwe samre no na hwe na no bi sa won say den asesa nyame ncha de MPP ye kwa ban mu second round with a speaker of parliament from the opposition. Now, and then make me say in a way no a boa mambo no kakra because you ran another Dankwa Kufuor enya somebody to check him. Ama anyone be oha emu yeding. Ye pese a pass e-levy. Compare e-levy passage. Na compare 1 Ghana per fuel a passage. She difference. MPs be hokra, I'm almost sorry, no munya we pose adichi ye ko chamber ye ko approve bi a menka mu hwe. Besi na kra na NDC for no bi kra nya we say omo ka ho na omo approve sadi na meka ko say an eye for an eye kind of law no emwa simple MPP fachemi o mistakes be media made NDC for say Oma Bay omo nsiesie nneɛma na nneɛma bi a yɛn de call position no mo nyɛ the same thing na meka kosi sɛ aware bi wɔ ha obɛhwɛ na aware gya yɛ nefa toothpaste ho onte aseɛ enso ɔba no meka sɛ obema no emia toothpaste no na ɔde ayɛ den aware gya yɛ enso na nsɛm bi hyɛ aseɛ enti yɛwura our Jubilee House obey press conference no
Felix
Kwachi MP give me who say or ye our bi afa toothpaste but niema shase the Jamaicans answer ujida simpie so say ye Ramahama nye oh yes you can do nothing but do something.
Okay.
Na ni nremu no petitions no de me nika kakra ne say de mate yes or make recommendations for 5 ye kan so yera mahama wa be recommendation am ya approve 7
yeah
it begs a very big question. Mami cry recommendation 8th parliament mama ya
but so obi so beka say president de emrano ma ne ho kwan but
as a citizen pono
you can propose
I can make a recommendation na see na constitutional review concerning citizens na kasa
yeah
yes na me
now in the current dispensation
me who we
can make a proposal
yes
really?
We are na say I mean we all na constitutional review no if we hefa Ghana for ensem omokeka and ye hwe na ye di asesa
but make an appointment to the Supreme Court.
No, me say we can have anybody. In fact, in Yemen asesa to be a Supreme Court judge, you don't necessarily even need a law degree. Let me put it on record.
Really?
Oh yes. I mean in Yemen asesa titimu omo ekotena asem no so no you to be far anybody from any background. Na even say nimdie na akwanim e na ama ukọ Frederick Douglass more time in the US the Supreme Court judges were not necessarily trained and omako school or mere judge. It was apprenticeship. Unim sena niema kwa and sena obe use common sense. Inti at the end of the day no law na mo na common sense asem. Inti I'm taken aback by the fact say most some I mean say or your recommendation for 5. Enumpo no ambemu ena mo baban mu a my 7 I may approve it. Until then why hold her to ransom? Enumpo na ambemu no o children so you know I think say ejumano doso see ebeboa Ghana you know
okay all right
na ni nremu no yeni akoma akobasa
okay
na saa yare no em say edidia ma even NPP area Kufuor abeka bi ama o say sena yeye amamu no ejuma no yen amanyoko a ye NPP no yen go back to the drawing board
yeah
na and then no make ACDP say yewra Dr. Brian Champon. Sa drawing board no. Enu abi no wahwe ama we CNP this week. Se party ni be nomination na
obe file.
Na ye ohwe ye electoral results no from 2024 na a hardring. Say members of parliament in 88.
Yeah.
But the crack no presidential Nankaza crano, I should say more than the 88. I think about 77 or so. It's not just say yeah, presidential fortunes in crowd there a West. And
so take by 77 and not
oh, baby we have an MP, but presidential election we lost. Patronymic announcement say.
Okay.
Inti ubetumi ba other places so ebia to say Domi Kwabinya, the presidential we won, but the MP we lost.
Yes.
There are other categories where we won the seat, but the presidential numbers, no, we lost. We lost to Mahama.
Okay.
Pachawati say. And in fact, Oshe map this is say NPP. We have only 2 strong regions.
Okay.
Ashanti region and a Eastern.
Northeast can 3 because if you look at the map, baby, I'm moving here. No?
Yeah, but what can make it strong? Make it stronger.
But you've won Northeast since your team, no more winning at all.
3-3.
Yeah.
3-3.
3-3 the same.
I think so.
Parliamentary.
Make 3-3.
No, but presidential, no more winning at all now.
Northeast, as how many seats are there, Pacho? It's America is strong because of course Central Ghana and Western 1 and 2B. Pacho Watamasi. So I'm talking in terms of true blue, heavy blue.
But for presidential, you should be fair. Say, Northeast so more blue.
Okay, we can add that, which is 3. But in fact, invariably, see a can numerical numbers are. I also to me constituency numbers clears Northeast. Pacho, if you understand what I'm saying, make quantum. Now, in all of this, we think that in the history of NPP, a very well-resourced campaign ever was 2024. That one, nobody can dispute it. 2016 nearby, in fact, 2016, John Dramani Mahama was very loaded, and they had a very loaded campaign compared to Yang.
And they still lost.
And they lost.
Yeah.
And then we went to 2020. You know, it was a honey hole. But 2024, quantum of expenses at Komuno, I think is the greatest in NPP. But the worst performance.
But I'm young president, because we can say 2016 Mahama lost, even though his campaign was well resourced than the NPP.
Oh, but you can't, the gravity, in fact, let me be very categorical, sir. The gravity of the NDC loss in 2016, you beat them in 2024. You beat them. In fact, they didn't have 88 seats. Pacho and Amibwa.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, you beat them in terms of the enormity of the defeat.
But would you blame the 88 seat on your flag bearer as well?
Oh, maybe I have not blamed on him.
Okay.
You know, I think I'm just making my case. Yeah. So your performance based on Sika quantum decor is very abysmal. Now, say we went to 138 and came home with 88.
Sika quantum of money.
Quantum Kakra it was heavy.
How much?
Kakra me nim the totality. But me share me persuaso Kakra. It was quite heavy. I said I was not a candidate, but the batete. What's my say? As it stands, looking at Sanya Mano, now you share Eastern region, the way Honorable Brian Jampon and manage Eastern region, they had a net loss of 1. You know, they lost 3 seats, gained 2. We feel strongly, sir, the operations or Eastern region, if he should replicate it, a war even greater Accra, any Ashanti region now. I'm not saying that the other regions are not relevant, but if we should replicate it for even greater Accra, not per recovery of our seats, then the icing on the cake becomes the presidency there. Then he stands to give us a one-touch victory.
But international operations in 1 year in 2024, because some more in a year it would have inured to the benefit of all of
No, I mean, I think he's called the governor of the Eastern region largely because he felt that, I mean, let's be
also
very,
protecting the territory.
Let's be frank with all of Ghanaians. There are many MPP, big whips.
Big.
And I think the way he carried the Eastern region, he would have hoped, or we would all have hoped, the other regions, others should have also. But in hindsight, that is why now we've gone back to the drawing board. And then that big question is, and your era, what you managed, the way be that, Eastern, if we bring you
Ghana
now, across the 16 regions, as a hands down. And for me, based on the long service in the party, in fact, Ofiasana or understudy Yera Jacobi Chebe Lamtina, Yekaso named about the party, you cannot dispute it. He knows the party, or nim party nimunsam. You know, na ne krakrano, we did them kakrada. Win Jai party and me a very symbolic. I mean, to whom many battles, ne we no Jemu, Emma Yera Kufuor Freno, Sanko, the new Cote d'Ivoire at the time. Now, winning the year winning election. December,
2028.
2028.
Yeah.
Ain't Sada, to whom you almost did any kakrano, and there, again, then I may back. Enyako could drone or Doma party now, somebody would have just left the party. But Ujinemu, and Ujinemu so consistently supporting then presidential candidate Adom Kufuor, up to even 2016 now, or more heavy support is known to the party. I know they say a party means them. And beyond that, I think 2024, so he did heavily. And a lot of people know. And you can't do the same thing and expect, a different results. And sometimes, a pet soccer need him say, "Who change the captain now?" It can literally change outcomes.
Really?
I mean, I said, even players, excuse me to say, sometimes who the striker for bar, even with the same captain, a lot of things can change. And as for captain change or even coach change, and then the impact on the team, is proven. It's proven. And with that said, we're hopeful, sir, the track record, and mind you, we've lost many parliamentary seats. And if you need somebody or the inclination of how parliamentary work goes and what it takes to retain parliamentary seats, now when you're icing on the cake, which is the presidential there, then I think, sir, without a doubt, Honorable Dr. Brian Champon stands really tall in terms of the parliamentary experience. Or in a fourth term from a BTF, and he's won every now and then since Ora Parliament, and I think a very strong point because they say need a dafom, and for party no see a bit pijayemu. It shouldn't be lost on us, sir. Many a times, in 2008, the runoff was done deal for the NDC once people realized that the NDC had more seats. And, Kasi, send you that from no. Personally, I believe, sir, if not anything, the best strengthening party, is to ensure recovery of our seats.
Okay.
And we need a candidate with that level of resource and ability to mobilize people to make that happen. Okay. And in a very disciplined, well-intentional manner. And for me, looking at the leadership of Dr. Brian Champon, my experience with him all these years in Parliament, I think that he can do it.
As the most resourced among some more person banana.
Ability to mobilize resources.
Okay.
And also very important.
Okay.
Bruni Becker said the how. The how.
I can't to mobilize resources.
Is very important. For us, one part in the BBA everybody knows. Obianim. Send you that form,
But this week, your former colleague, Boama, Honorable Boama Beka said, party no here a strong party to give you a strong flag bearer, and not just a flag bearer.
Correct.
On the agreeing.
100%.
How do you do that?
In a way, we're not very much in support of this rush to just select a flag bearer. And maybe, so say, one of the problems I see happening, so flag bearer, any quite fair, so one here, he becomes a flag bearer for a smaller portion of the NPP. And that is a recipe for disaster at the 2028 election.
But my executives work on transfer my there flag bearer race no ya na etim na come no dose too much. Until you only feel 2026 now, then war party no war a long period of time to try and rein in everybody.
It's illogical.
Okay.
And I say that it's illogical because once you from the year, it will worsen off. Okay. I believe say you should form no carefully. It never even so clear to all of us. Say, I pray no crab because oh no, based on say na economy there. I think say the man assume say no or the equa you be drew. But she says so. Well, now, in fact, forgive me. The things in economics are your friend counterintuitive. As in, say no, I'm doing extra no, and it's an case or no, and you know, and tisa. But in this case, no, dear, traditionally, the party na here, both in opposition and in governance, no. I think say if we stick with the constitution and its dictates, Pandia, Anka is the best because yes, form we and the idea is Fachamu, the same national executives ever run it to presidential elections. So it begs the question: say, are we really serious? So, no, if that is the for us, no, we are prepared to go with them. We don't think say the best option, because from the polling station and it was Afarijan Egusuka said elections are won at the polling station. One more polling station, she said engineer so dindia a beha drink kaka. Now let me put on record say here Dr. Brian Champon the strength into information systems, which is computing and technology. So and the Hodo the Island Kufuor said the companies are besides Rock City hotel chain, no, largely into real estate and then IT, you know, which is computing in the na and also na you won't need that source Ghana you venture more into systems and technology and saying on my lecture was Unimac. And one of the powerful things that kind say distance I free memfans a konongo de ba cry and say nembum abefo machine Uber for you so to me show how many minutes a car be free who about fee. Sa company no yes worth billions of dollars. So into or conform and say the drink core information technology side as Ghanaians, we stand to really venture into a whole new horizon. And I think that he has a proven record.
But is it different from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as a champion?
He was championing, but where you be or the for a long time. Our proven record. So no a stark difference. So one has ideas, one has a proven record, and so heavyweight analysis there. Your mason, excuse me, says we see dimebers enum any obia or hesen obey mason ejma. Why now they udai ebeshen insa? Okay, it's better. So remember, dear, we see a dimebers at 9. You need to say. We see a dimebers in Miansa. We dear and Kasapi, and the truth remains. Know your known specialty, which is doctorate in information systems. All
right.
And Obiso specialty are totally different.
Okay.
In the crack no see Candia. See Nadia to say that is the way or the future for Ghana there. Then excuse me to say sample a hospital man because me a hospital man my your doctor or you and unquano ye and your doctor or share malaria a drew uchu ye hina beko I mean that is just straightforward.
Okay. All right, but we also know that presidents, as in also to me assemble the qualities to work with. Okay, so not necessarily someone with a computer background, but someone who can identify that okay, Brian is a good person in computing. I can use him to do the digitalization, and not so.
Well, and also
okay,
and also.
But numbers, no you're worried about the numbers of my year, which is Omobano. Isn't the NPP repeating the same mistakes about so many people wanting to be flag bearers of the party?
Well, as it stands now, I think the three leading candidates. If my records are wrong, then I'm wrong. Former flag bearer, Kennedy, and now Brian Unity just about 2 weeks. I mean, Kandia, see a Kakradia this week. Yeah, I'll call Presbytery moderator no ho. I call chair and say or strange and coupon piebo. Now face what man I aware say NPP ABA nomination or the betu it's been just a week, and for just that short period to appear as one of the leading contenders I think that we're making some very solid headway. Nothing stops them. Sometimes you need to assert your rights. Sometimes you need to make people aware that you are still there, and I think nothing stops them. As we get closer, some may weigh more options. Now, and they may just choose to, withdraw. But as it stands down there, I think that the solid lead, the three, and we feel so say, Sana, it be Kuno, Dr. Brian Champon, my unifiers together.
Okay.
Flag bearer, former flag bearer and Kufuor on Anyantia, na Ken Sufu Anyantia. Brian serves as a middle ground.
Okay.
And I think a lot of the chairmen are thinking in that direction.
Okay.
The chairman owns the chairman for Abribiano, they are thinking about the future of the party beyond 2028. And for that reason, you may need a strategic candidate or Bebuama say, together to fight.
Brian, the strategy to get there or secure the vice presidential spot?
No, not at all. I think he's in to win, and he feels strongly about one thing. Otufoka say, Mamo in just NPP party
Ghana.
Look at the entire country. And Brian is looking at the entire country, any the country to be here for a president. And he feels strongly that Senya party in Kwani the Ghana Funa to me, Ajina Tumani Yakodia, then he stands tall. I mean, the temperament. And forgive me, on Kasapisa, he's very careful with his words. And I think he has the presidential qualities. Ghana for Ebejatumu and media meaning say, your looks, your demeanor account a lot in politics.
Okay.
And people see him as presidential material.
Okay.
And for that matter, he worked in Volta region for a while. And Kufuor didn't say AI, but he worked in the Volta region for a while. Until Hona Oceani Aigbekasano in Cran so there, Otia Kra, Yemuna Pina, Mino Baye, Mino Tao, Ingbe Obaya, Mintown my Gakon. I mean, Sai Niman Kakandi, or fair, will be able to born and on in Cobware. And he does his guard to now, Brofono so dear. Now, to say, crowd and Mambuno. Handle with pigeon, because of the Nensem Kakrebi of time. It is saying that I come as a Cassery pet almost my pigeon kaka. He's doing all of that for the people.
Mate, I'm grateful to you, Dr. Adom Akukisi, for passing through. Yaweshimo, all the best. We'll see how this goes. Dr. Adom Akukisi, former MP for Anyaso Utum or Kasa. Edema the Brian Champon team Well, fancy here, Yadasi, say to be share on behalf of the production, Madobia say, na Nyamea Dumwa, Yabesa Yeshia, Nnawotwe Eda Yeneminemum, many abakon Nnawotwe ene, Maminshe, na may man a happy birthday to you. Mawinya Fia Agropa, or Hunter West. Happy birthday to you, brother. Nyamle yira ode a na ye okezire. We'll meet again next week Saturday.